Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Glad to be here.
Today we're exploring something really, well, fundamental if you share your life with a dog. Effective training.
Yeah, it's crucial. We've been looking at some core ideas from excerpts called Essential Dog Training Principles.
Exactly. And our goal really is dig into those principles and pull out the most important nuggets, the insights that help you build that amazing bond.
And make sure your dog is not just following commands, but genuinely happy and thriving.
It's easy to think training means sit, doesn't it?
It is, but this material really frames it as something much bigger. It's the bedrock of your whole relationship.
The foundation. Yeah, the sources make that clear. When you look at why training matters, it's not just about tricks for show.
Not at all. The core message seems to be that training is how you build that lifelong partnership, based on trust, respect.
And clear communication, that seems key.
Absolutely. Without clear communication, that connection just doesn't develop properly.
And there are practical benefits too, right? The sources mention safety and happiness.
Huge practical benefits. Helping dogs navigate our world safely, happily, whether that's inside your home or out in the community, it's essential.
And there's a preventative angle too, which I found interesting.
Yes, that's a really strong point in the material. A well-trained dog, one who understands what's expected and how to communicate with you, they're just less likely to develop those frustrating behavioral problems.
Like chewing or excessive barking, maybe?
Things like that, yeah. And they're safer overall, less likely to get into accidents. Plus, they actually experience less stress.
Because they feel more secure.
Exactly. They understand their place, they know the rules, it creates a sense of security.
So it's almost like proactive wellness for the dog and for your relationship.
Yeah.
It lays that groundwork, that space where the magic can happen.
That's a good way to put it. And once we grasp the why, the material moves right into the how. And the big principle is positive reinforcement.
Right. This is the modern approach, moving away from older punishment-based methods.
Definitely. The whole idea is that dogs learn best when they're feeling good, when they're motivated, and crucially, when they feel safe.
Fear doesn't really work for long-term learning.
No, it really doesn't build reliable, trusting behavior. It often just creates anxiety or avoidance.
So positive reinforcement.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work in practice, step by step?
Well, it's pretty straightforward conceptually. You see a behavior you like, and the moment your dog does it, you reward them.
And the reward could be?
Could be anything your dog loves. A small, tasty treat is common, maybe a favorite toy for a quick tug.
Or even just praise?
Oh yeah, enthusiastic praise, a happy tone of voice. Good boy, yes.
That can be super motivating for lots of dogs. The key is finding what your dog values right then.
And it's that immediate link. I did the thing, good stuff happened.
That's the learning loop. They think, okay, doing that gets me something great. I should try that again. It starts building habits.
The material stresses a couple of things here, though, doesn't it? Timing and consistency. Critically important. The reward needs to land within, say, 1 or 2 seconds of the behavior.
Any longer. And they connect it to something else.
Right. They might think they got the treat for sniffing the ground after they sat. And consistency? Well, that's non-negotiable.
You can't reward jumping one day and scold for it the next.
Exactly. That's just confusing and frustrating for the dog. They need clear signals.
The source has a simple phrase for it. Think praise, not punishment.
It's a great mantra, really shifts your mindset.
Okay, so we've got the positive approach. What are the first commands to focus on? The basics. The material calls them life-saving.
Yeah, and they might seem basic, but they really are crucial. Sit is often the starting point.
Easiest to teach, maybe?
Generally, yes. And it's so useful, it gives you a moment of calm control in, exciting situations.
And the how is pretty simple. Lure them with a treat.
Typically, yes. Hold a treat just above their nose, move it slightly back over their head. Their head goes up, their bottom usually goes down.
Okay.
As their rear touches the ground, you say, sit, and then immediately reward. You're essentially guiding them into position.
Makes sense. What's next? Stay.
Stay, yeah. This usually builds on sit. So you ask for the sit first.
Right.
Then use a clear hand signal, like a flat palm facing them, sort of like a stop sign. Say, stay clearly.
And only reward if they actually hold it.
Exactly. That's the key. You only reward when they maintain the position. Start really small, just a second, maybe 1 step away, and gradually increase the time and distance as they get reliable.
Okay. And the big one, the one they really emphasize as life-saving.
Come. Absolutely. Recall, come. This is arguably the most important command for safety.
If they slip their leash near a road or bolt out the door.
Precisely. A solid recall gets them back to you, back to safety. And the golden rule here, the material really hammers this home. Always, always make coming back to you incredibly rewarding.
Even if you're annoyed they ran off.
Yeah.
Even if it took ages.
Especially then. It's hard. You might be frustrated, but you have to resist scolding them when they finally get back to you. Because
Because if you punish them after they come, you've just taught them that coming to you leads to bad things. They'll hesitate next time.
Ah, I see. So you have to make it a party when they arrive.
Throw a party. Best treats, happy voice, lots of praise. Make coming to you the best decision they ever made.
That totally reframes it. Okay, so beyond commands, the sources talk about other essential skills, house training and socialization.
Yes, these are foundational for just living together happily. For house training, the key elements are, again, consistency, timing, and positive reinforcement. No surprises there.
Timing seems huge with puppies, taking them out super frequently.
Very frequently.
Yeah.
The sources mention key times. Right after waking up, after eating or drinking, after a play session.
You're basically trying to anticipate when they'll need to go.
Exactly. Maximize the chances they eliminate outside, in the right spot, and when they do go in the right place.
Jackpot.
Big time. Lots of praise, treats, make a really big deal out of it.
And accidents inside. What's the advice there? Never, ever punish. It just doesn't work. It teaches them to fear eliminating in front of you, not where to go.
So they might sneak off and hide.
Exactly. Or hold it too long, which isn't healthy. Just clean it up thoroughly. Use an enzymatic cleaner to remove the odor, and then just reset. Go back to your frequent potty breaks schedule.
Okay. And socialization. That sounds equally vital, especially early on.
Hugely important. The material calls it emotional training for the real world, which I think is brilliant.
Emotional training. I like that.
It's about safely exposing your puppy, ideally during that critical window, like the first 3-4 months,
So what kinds of things?
to all sorts of things. Different people, tall, short, wearing hats, carrying bags, other friendly vaccinated dogs, different environments, parks, quiet streets, maybe hearing distant traffic, different sounds, surfaces.
But safely. Right. Not overwhelming them.
Critically important. It needs to be positive or neutral exposure. The goal is for them to learn that new things aren't necessarily scary.
And the benefit is,
A well-socialized dog tends to be much more confident, less fearful, and that translates to fewer behavior problems like fear-based aggression or anxiety later on. They can handle life's surprises better.
it's like building their coping skills. Now, even with the best plan, people make mistakes. The sources mention some common ones.
Oh, for sure. And it's okay. We're all learning. But one big one highlighted is inconsistency.
Like the jumping example, okay sometimes, not others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That sends mixed signals. The dog has no idea what the actual rule is. Another is simply lack of patience.
We expect them to learn instantly.
Sometimes, yeah. But dogs learn through repetition. They don't speak our language. Getting frustrated or yelling doesn't help them understand faster.
It probably just makes them anxious.
It does. And the material is very clear.
Ah.
Yelling or any kind of physical punishment is really damaging. It breaks that trust you're trying so hard to build.
And can even make things worse, like increasing fear or aggression.
Absolutely. Then there's one that might surprise people. Overtraining.
Doing too much.
Yeah, trying to drill commands for like an hour straight, it gets boring and stressful for the dog and for you.
So what's the recommendation?
Keep sessions short and fun, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, a couple of times a day. Keep the energy upbeat.
And end on a good note.
Always try to end on a win. Finish with something they can do successfully, get rewarded for. It keeps them eager for the next session.
Builds confidence.
Exactly. Celebrate the small successes along the way.
Okay, so keep it positive, short, consistent. And that leads to the next idea, doesn't it? That training isn't just a phase you finish.
Right. It's not just for puppies. The sources really push this idea of training as lifelong learning.
Good for their brains, like it is for ours.
Exactly. Keeps their minds sharp, engaged, prevents boredom. The material mentions things like learning advanced commands or trying fun dog sports like agility or scent work.
Or even just practicing skills like being calm at the vet's office.
Yeah, continuing to work on real-life skills. It enriches their lives, gives them challenges, makes things interesting.
And doing this ongoing learning, it deepens the relationship too, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. You're not just the food provider anymore. You become this trusted leader, a partner they work with.
A team.
A team navigating the world together. Every time you teach them something new or practice something old, you're reinforcing that communication, that bond.
It really drives home that idea from the source, that every moment is a chance to teach, bond, and grow together.
Sort of really positive way to look at it.
It really is. So let's recap this deep dive. We've seen training isn't just tricks, it's the absolute foundation.
Mm-hmm. Build on trust and communication. We talked about the power of positive reinforcement praise, not punishment.
Cover those essential commands, sit, stay, and that crucial life-saving come.
And the importance of house training and socialization, that emotional training.
Plus, we touched on those common mistakes: inconsistency, impatience, punishment, overtraining, and why to avoid them.
And finally, embrace that idea of training as a lifelong journey, enriching for both dog and owner.
Fundamentally, it all comes back to building that trusting, cooperative partnership with your dog.
Yeah, seeing them as a true companion. And the material kind of leaves us with a really interesting thought, linking that training for life idea.
Right. Not just for the dog's benefit, keeping them sharp and happy,
Okay.
but how that ongoing effort specifically deepens the bond between you.
So here's something to maybe chew on. Think about that principle. Consistent, positive investment in a relationship leading to growth and a deeper connection.
Okay.
What other important partnerships or relationships in your life might also flourish with that same kind of steady, positive focus over the long haul?
That's a great question. Definitely food for thought.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive.